Hello and welcome to my masterclass on copying Noah Antweiler. Hey, just recording a quick commentary for this, see if I can get any tidbits of trivia out for you. No idea how long it took me to get that working, just that little bit where it says IkiFoo presents. To get the individual letters out from the actual intro, which is what you're seeing there, I think I had to actually draw some of them. And then just put them together and actually animate them in Flash. That's pretty much any of the animations you see in here are all done in Flash. So I actually get this wrong that I'm about to say here, which is about, I'm about 12 years old when I play this. I think it's a bit younger than that because I was definitely in primary school, which is, that's between the ages of 5 and 12 over here. Then you go into high school. So probably got that wrong. So like one of the first things I say. Fantastic. That comic's interesting, actually. Doesn't seem particularly bad. I did compare it to the Shepherd's Tale comic from Firefly, which was rubbish. There's some things you just don't need explained. So yeah, as I say, played the demo yonks ago, pretty much just from the swearing that went on. It was what caught my attention there. I just remembered it when I actually had some money. I thought, oh, I'll give this a go. The game begins as it means to galactic spaciness. It's one of the first thing I came up with, and that's possibly not a good thing. By the way, pretty much any of these CG sequences you're seeing right here, they're all sped up by like 200%. It's just slow otherwise. And there's this bizarre tearing effect. Oh, the giant backwards plasma rifle. And the matte painting, honest to God, it just... I think that was meant to be part of the game at some point, and they just couldn't be bothered redoing it to match the CG. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. So, here comes War Texas Ranger. I bet half of the people watching this don't actually know who Dave Perry is, but fuck it, I had to throw that in. Because it just say Irish like 5 times in this one scene, and he's not even remotely Irish. That's what you get for having about 7 voice actors, really. I'll probably have to spend half of this explaining the bloody jokes. Like this one was a little chewing on Lego scenery here. Oh, I need to get a better camera. My brother's actually got one, I just never bothered to actually ask him to use it. Jeez. It's beyond one-dimensional. And he doesn't really improve until he goes insane at the end. It's the only progression his character shows. Yeah, the other thing I'm going to mention here is the audio and the subtitles don't match up, because they don't match up in the game. Most of the lines you hear recorded are just recorded in one big long take, rather than the individual lines that would match up to subtitles. So they just seem to like pick an average time and make the subtitles last that long. So half the time I'm skipping the subtitles, or skipping the line of dialogue, which just means it goes on to the next subtitle and plays the audio anyway. Because you'll just keep pressing subtitles. You'll get to the end of all the subtitles, which are separated, and the audio will still be playing until the next one starts, which is annoying. There was a reason I wanted to do something like this, partly because it seems fun, partly because of the, fame and infamy that these kind of people get. Oh fuck me, not Roland. At least he doesn't talk at this point, I'll complain about him later. So yeah, always loved games. And I've actually developed some. I spent a year developing games for mobile phones. It's still programming, but it's for a completely different company. So that's what I want to do, is programming. Still like games, I still program them occasionally when I find time. By the way, I'm just going to apologise in advance if I completely screw up everything I'm saying. I'm not actually that good at talking. If I'm preparing it, it's fine. But if I'm just talking off the cuff, I'm just not very good at it. God, yeah. There's probably more instances of the same voice actor saying the same voice. I think La Paz and the Dr. Chu, is that her name? Honestly, God, I would not have known half the characters' names if they were not written down. It's just, you care about them that little. Especially like this guy, he spouts some shit about Kobayashi. That's it, that's all he's there for. Like when you blow up the lab later, he's not there, he's fucked off. You don't see his corpse, nothing. And I said cunt sponge on the internet. I'm never going to be able to get rid of that. God help me if it comes up in a job interview. Oh well, I'll just have to do these for a living. Haha! I was never sure whether to throw that joke in there, but I thought it was quick fire enough that I would just go ahead and do it. Problem being with this review that I did not mean for it to go on as long as it did. It was like I was aiming for like 15 minutes at the most. Oh hi Roland. Yeah, so I was aiming for about 15 minutes and the final one came out at like 27. So that's when I started making cuts. There's more of them even than you saw in the deleted scenes. The fuck is with that guy's sprite? Honestly, it's like they're split into two halves and they're moving independently. I meant to do a joke about it, but I couldn't be bothered figuring out how to make a video clip appear with another one, like a picture-in-picture kind of thing. Just like zoomed in. The fuck? Oh, there's many things wrong with this game. Even if it isn't SVGA, which was probably one of the big draws to it as well. Because this point, this is when they were starting to come out before the big FMV revolution, where they all looked like those goddamn CG cutscenes that I had to speed up by 200% just to fit them in the fucking review. But you're gonna see more of this. I love bad puns. Wait for it. See, everything you say is made funnier by the fact you've just made this little da-da noise. That's how it works. Oh, meme alert. My Devlin voice is really not good. I'm trying to figure out whether it sounds better or worse on the crappy microphone. I'm just using like a Microsoft Life Cam. It does do HD footage, but there was no point in me actually putting it up in HD. One, my internet connection would just sort of fall over and die. I mean, it's meant to be, what, 10 meg minimum on Virgin Media in the UK. But I don't think it would like it, and I just do not have the patience. And besides, all the game footage is in 480p anyway. It's like, yeah, 640 by 480. So there's no point in putting the P in there. Yeah, so this is going back to what I was talking about, where I quite like nitpicking at the design of games. I also worked in QA for a while, quality assurance, games testing essentially, for those of you who don't know. Scorpion Swamp reference, nice. You're going to see a lot of obscure references with these. I mean, there's 2 Magic Roundabout references in this, and that is barely for people in the UK. That show was on in the 60s. The 60s. 20 years before I was born, that's when the show was on. I just had a videotape of it when I was growing up. I mean, Sarky's stop motion dog and snail and cow that goes ha ha ha. What's not to like? So yeah, I was not going to do this in HD, mostly because it would take too long to upload. But even the game footage was in 480, and I had so much trouble getting the Day of the Tentacle and the Innocent Until Caught footage that you see in the intro. Just getting that to actually appear and work. Oh, I had to get a room reference in there somewhere. And if you go and see the deleted scenes, you do get to see me making an absolute ass of myself trying to impersonate that. I should have put a side by side actually from the movie. Anyway, so yeah, that's why I didn't upload that in HD, because it wouldn't match the footage, and all the trouble I had with the footage before that, it wasn't going to work. So 480 matched up to what the game footage was. Oh, there was a joke that I cut here that I didn't even put in the deleted scenes. I think if I recorded it, I deleted it. And it was, after the... what do you want me to say? Your son was gay? Homosexual? A faggot? It's the wrong order, but fuck it. And the joke I wanted to make was like, homosexual, gay, faggot? Is there such a thing as a triple negative? Meaning that purely in a wordplay kind of way. So you're homosexual, gay, faggot, gay, not gay, gay. Not a surprised face. I don't know why I wanted to do that, just did. It seemed like it would work. And again, it's another quick fire one, just works. But yeah, anyway. Yeah, the demo. I remember this demo very, very well. And oh my god. If they'd actually got word out about this line beforehand, there could have quite easily have been an outcry. I mean, can you imagine if you found out this was in a game today? But yeah, but going back a second, I didn't want to put that line, you know, the triple negative line in there, because they're putting negative and gay together, and people could get the wrong impression very, very easily. So I just didn't want to deal with that. It's kind of odd. I've played worse games than this, as I say in the end, but and there's not really that many instances of like moon logic. A Phoenix Wright reference. Again, a lot of effort to get that one working. Find a screenshot of the game, cut bits out. I actually added the targeting thing. Ah, that was a reference. That transition. Figure it out. I'm very proud of this transition. This section, even. Sorry, that's coming up here. Yeah, that's enough. The plot just. Why aliens all of a sudden? I just want to sit and watch this bit because this is the first sequence I completed with the aliens music, and I know it's like the second most used trailer music. This one bit. It's from the movie Aliens. It's a sequence between running away from the Queen alien after Ripley's got Newt, all the way up to getting on the transport and going all the way up and the place exploding. See, the reason you've got my laptop there is, one, it's got something you can actually plug a USB into and actually see it, because otherwise I had it in my head I was going to sneak down the back of my computer and plug it in, so I'd be on my side and it would look a bit more dramatic. Yeah, in case you can't tell, I'm holding the webcam right up to my face in those, you know, wiping my brow shots. But it seemed a lot more effort than it's worth. And then that computer died, so that didn't help. To be fair, only the graphics card died, and that's since been replaced, so it's working now, which is awesome. The laptop's actually probably better than it. Processor definitely. Oh dear. Such a facepalm when that happened. I can't remember if I just let out a chuckle or if I actually just burst out laughing. It sounds so pathetic in the run up to that buggering hell. Oh, and then we get. Oh Christ! Foot slowed down there. Fucking auto adjust. Cat, box cat. This is what my girlfriend got me for first Valentine's Day. It's awesome. You put a coin in it and steals it for cheeseburgers, we presume. I always refer to it as a he, but I kind of want it to be a girl so I can call the box cat Penny. And if I keep saying box cat, then I'm gonna get sued by the creators of Catface, so I'll just skip on that. I just love that. What the fuck was that giant explosion? I don't know. It was always burning since the world's been turning. Oh, Roland, you fuck. It's probably the most satisfying character death in all of this, because it's you that does it. I mean, the only way they could have made it better is if you actually have to move the mouse and click himself. See, this one does take up a bit of time, but I do like it far too much, because Roland heard them from the next room, however the hell that's possible, because it's presumably along a corridor and downstairs. This guy's just along the corridor and he's just standing there going, oop-de-doop-de-doo, I thought I heard explosions and alien cries and shit. Because an alien just walked by the fucking corridor. Not past him, but you think you would have seen him. Yeah, so yeah, the comic details Devlin on the ship, getting attacked. He can't save them, and so he gets sent back. The companies basically own whoever's there, and Devlin can't work because his lungs got fucked up by smoke inhalation in the fires. Which is why his wife gives up on life, because apparently if you're not working for the company, y'all ain't shit. And, you know, she commits suicide. His wife... no, his wife commits suicide, I've already mentioned that. His son leaves home, and it leads all the way to here. Dun 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 dun. I don't know why I didn't put the Star Trek music in. In fact, I do know why, because it seemed like a very obvious joke to make, but if I was going to show the whole bloody sequence anyway... and I have to admit, I got absolutely stuck here. I had to replay like a full half hour, which pissed me off no end, because I tried to talk to the captain's corpse, and the game fucked me over for it. Yeah, that was another facepalm moment, 0G wrench attachment. I mean, there's sci-fi, and you're saying, oh, there is a thing, you have to get a thing. This is what the thing is called and what it does. But it's just... They could have called it anything. That's probably the best point I could make. They could have called it anything. Make up some words, throw them in there, you need that for this. But no, 0G wrench attachment. It's like, oh, it's something we know about in the future, so you'll know what it is. You don't need to know what it is, and you don't need to make it something so stupid as that. Not the only person you have that problem with. Yeah, I kind of tried to hide it by saying object. No, I'm not going to let that go. Oh, random point. There's going to be one certain type of thing in the background of all my reviews. So you can figure out what that is. Yeah, my girlfriend got very confused about this bit coming up because her sister and her boyfriend had watched it first and they said my bed had got some abuse. And that's why. I actually did it twice, but my foot was in the shot on the first time, so I had to do it again. I think I just took another one for safety. But, you know, I got to the other side and knocked something over, which is what that sound is. Yeah, really, half the sequences... What the hell does that mean? Half the sequences are, you know, quite heavily edited, especially the CG ones. I mean, there's easily about half an hour worth of cutscenes to watch, which is an obscene amount considering the content of them. You know, like this sequence here, yeah, I know it says sped up to 100%, that's true. Some of them were actually like 400%. I so wanted to use this bit of music and I could not remember what it was called. By the way, you just missed a Portal reference. Portal 2 specifically. Go back, listen, it's awesome. You see, now, you know, the mechanic guy in the orange, now his sprite is fine, it's not jumping around doing that stupid thing. His head's fucked though. You know, it's like, it's talking like a fucking sock puppet. I'm not particularly fond of my performance in this. It's very low-key, and really, that can be me sometimes. But I can put some more energy into it, because it's just going to sound very boring otherwise. Like a commentary, where I just speak in a monotone voice. You know, that kind of thing. You mind them! You mind the fucker! You don't even try and get in touch. I mean, seriously, what the fuck is wrong with you people? I think this is why I didn't want to use the Star Trek music, the fight music, dun 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 dun, in this, because I make a very obvious joke with it. Cut to technical difficulties. Oh, that was the other thing I was going to say. And that's a magic roundabout reference right there. It took me a long time to get those dancing puppets to sync up to the music, because, again, it was in Flash. So I didn't really have it. I would have had to set the tempo or the frame rate correctly, so I could be bothered. And of course Devlin doesn't fucking listen to this woman, he just keeps asking questions for dramatic effect. Jesus. Yeah, anyway, I was going to say, there was a bit of music I wanted to just see, I wanted to use even when the ship is spinning after Devlin blacks out. And it was, you know, it goes out, da 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 da, and I could not remember the name of it for the life of me. I used to. I'd looked them up. I confused it with one other piece, I had both names, and for some reason I picked the wrong one and deleted the other. So I had this little note. I've got like all my scripts up on Evernote, and I'd noted it down, and I used the wrong fucking one. I wonder if I should make it. Oh, I just remember that joke. Sorry. I don't know what the top 5 dumbest moments would actually be in this game, but yep, I'm not lying. That would be one of them. Yeah, it was kind of a weird moment when my brother had watched the review. He said he liked it because it was actually funny, which probably helps. But he said, it's like, you're actually funny, and then he sort of stopped and gave a wee chuckle. And I was like, did you remember something? And I wanting desperately to know what I'd done that was funny. And he said, yeah, the teabag moment. It was the last joke I wrote. It took the least amount of effort to do. It was literally just get the footage, put a title on it that says lol teabag, or lol the corpse teabag. And oh dear. I actually meant to put a title up there that just said leadership. He's using La Paz as bait. But yeah, so it's just like, what's the best joke in it? Oh, the one you spent the least amount of effort on. So, fuck. How does he know that? See, right there, you skip this, don't see a subtitle because it got to the end of it and I thought, I'll just skip it, and it's already gone to the next one by the time I press the button, so it completely skips over one. And seriously, that is really annoying. I don't know how difficult it would have been to do. I mean, clearly this game had some programming problems, but why can't you not just set the mine the first time? It's just like, I've done enough with that switch, or some shit like that. So I did actually enjoy writing this review. It was the performing, that was fine. The editing was a bit of a chore though, because I'd never done it before, so I was obviously a lot slower. This whole thing, literally, with on and off effort. My notepad's falling, hold on. It took about 4 months at least from from when I was wanting to make it to when it finally got put up. I quite like this long-winded explanation of it when it just says also aliens, because they just come out of nowhere. You could have had the plot without them, and it just leads to this, which makes me think, why did you call it that, and what does it actually refer to? I'm incredibly pedantic like this, which is why I was, which is why I was saying, I worked in quality assurance testing, and so you end up with an eye for detail, and I just enjoy nitpicking at things. It's like film critics, basically, if such a thing as a game critic can exist. I suppose if it's going to be anyone, it's going to be Yahtzee. For one thing, you can do these long-winded explanations about games, and one he actually calls himself a game critic. You can end up wondering why people bothered making shitty point-and-click adventures when LucasArts were doing that well, or at the very least why they didn't just try and license scum from them. I mean, would it really be that difficult? They're using Euphoria and Grand Theft Auto and other non-Grand Theft Auto games. Incidentally, if anybody happens to know how you get past YouTube's process for deciding what what videos have adverts on them or not, because this one didn't pass, and I was pretty honest about everything that was in there. Maybe that was the problem, but game's way out of print. The company that made it don't exist anymore. The publisher doesn't exist anymore, although I think I said they were all out of business and nobody had the rights, but I think Domark Publishing actually got bought over. I'm not 100% sure. Well, that was long-winded rambling and had me jumping back and forth like a prostitute kangaroo, so I think I'll just wrap that up there. Thanks for listening, and look out for some new stuff in the future. Next one's probably going to be a little shorter, just for the sake of my own sanity. Okay, cheers, bye.